Grace and peace, beautiful souls, and welcome to Crystals, Diamonds, and Pearls. My name is Nicole. I am the founder and creator. I am your energy shifter, life influencer, and I'm so glad you are here. This is series video number 2 in a 3-part series called Love Thyself Soul Rejuvenation Series. I know that's a lot. But this series was developed for you to help you with self-love. Because it's a beautiful month of love, and we're in the time of love, of Valentine's Day, and just, feeling the love and wanting to be love and wanting to receive love and getting candy and flowers and cookies and gifts and teddy bears and all things pretty and beautiful and lovey, and people getting engaged and some people getting married, and there's all these wonderful relationships are taking place. But what I want to do is I want to, in this series, is not show you how to fall in love with somebody else or to find love with someone else. I'm going to show you how to find love with you. To love thyself first. And to be a little bit selfish in this Valentine's Day. And to say, I'm going to love me. I appreciate the love everybody else is showing me. But if I don't learn how to love me for me, then your love for me will not be able to fill the void. And I won't have enough love in me to love you back. And so today, we're going to begin this series by talking about the contaminated soul. Now, I hope that before you looked at this video that you checked out the very first video, which is the introductory video. And in that, I begin to explain to you the 3 energy thieves that come to steal our energy, our inner glow, and our soul's glow. And the first thing that I identified, I call it an entity, that I identified was a contaminated soul. And so we're going to go and delve further into that contaminated soul in this video. And then we're also going to look at another video, the inner bully and the energy vampire. So you have 2 more videos to look after this. But right now, let's delve into this contaminated soul. So first of all, what is our soul? What is our soul made of? Well, our soul is the essence of who we really are. It's our mind, our thoughts, how we perceive ourselves, what we think about ourselves. It is our heart, how we love, how we feel love, how we receive love, how we give love. It is our emotions. It is that part of us that makes us either go cuckoo for Cocoa Puff crazy or just in a place of, namaste, peace, love, and zen. And so you have these 3 entities that make up your soul, which really makes up the essence and the characteristics and identity of you. It's who you are in your soul. Your spirit is made up of your spirit is that of God, the creator, and then your made body. So your body, spirit, and soul. Well, we're going to look at this contaminated soul because oftentimes, more often than not, our soul is more contaminated than we think. And it becomes that way from past memories, past hurts and experiences, heartbreak, heartache. It comes from being emotionally unbalanced or unstable, just out of control, not controlling our emotions, or we try to numb our emotions to deal with our day-to-day lives and our day-to-day issues. But when our soul becomes contaminated like that, it is infiltrated and it's infected by the ideology of others, by the rules and laws of our society, by the requirements and the and the demands that are placed on us by the people that are in our lives, that have influenced us from when we were, a child. And so oftentimes we will have this contamination within us that is just like when you have a toothache, or you have a bad tooth, and it starts off really small. And then if you don't take care of it, even though you're brushing your teeth and you're brushing your teeth and brushing your teeth, if you don't get in there and get that contamination out, it then begins to spread. And then it begins to destroy more of your tooth. And then it spreads and destroys more of your tooth. And then after a while, your mouth starts hurting. Your equilibrium is off because you're off balance, because your mouth is hurting so bad. You can't eat. You can't smell. Your 5 senses are off. You're just uncomfortable. You are not feeling well, and all these bad things are taking place within you internally. And if it's not careful, you can die from the infection. Your tooth can get infected, and it's such a bad infection that it can literally kill you. Well, it's the same thing. Our soul gets so contaminated that we die a slow death. Everybody dies, but not everybody lives. And so what I want to do today is we're going to look at what is a contaminated soul. How do we identify it? And how do we begin the cleansing process of it? So let's start off with your mind. Your mind, here, your thought. It is your sight. It is, you hear people talk about your third eye, or your mind's eye. I know we have 2 eyes that we see in our 5 sensory, our sight, smell, taste, hearing, touch. Our 5 senses that make up our being. But there is a sight, there is an ability to see that is within the thought process or thought patterns of your mind, where you can begin to see yourself doing great things. You see yourself. It's your dream state, some people want to call it. It's your vision. It's when you're able to see what you want to do or you desire to do, and you see yourself in the future, and you I can see myself in that house. I can see myself in that car. I can see myself driving that. I can see myself working there. I can see, it's that vision right there that oftentimes becomes blind because we can't see beyond our current existence and reality. See, to be able to see your mind's perspective, to transform your thought processes about you, you have to be able to see beyond your current existence. And oftentimes we're not able to do that. Because when our minds and our soul are contaminated, and we have a contaminated soul, that means our minds we're double-minded. That means we're unstable. Our thoughts are always negative. They are dream stealers. They are life killers. And it is a blinding that takes place. It is in your mind where you just cannot grasp a hold of, because your thoughts begin to run away from you, and they begin to say, you can't do this, or, they're going to think this about you, or they're going to think that about you, or you're not able. And in your mind, you begin to hear these voices and these words, and you begin to think and ponder, well, I can't do this because it's going to cost me money. Then my bank account says that. So now you're going to think about the fact that you don't have enough money in your bank account in order to do the thing that your heart desires to do. So instead of looking at the vision and the plan and the desires of your heart, what you end up doing is looking at the lack that you have, or what you think is lack. And your mind focuses on that. And then your thoughts begin to think on those things. When we begin to think negative thoughts about our situation, about our lives, about us, then we give permission to everybody else to control, dictate, and or determine exactly who we will become, what our purpose is, what our destiny is. Somebody else will dictate and determine that. When your mind is contaminated, you can't think beyond these thoughts and these notions, the ideologies. I just don't. You find yourself saying things, I just can't think. I can't hear myself think. I can't hear myself think. My mind is so contaminated. It's so loud. It's so noisy. It's so chaotic that I literally cannot hear myself think. I can't focus. I can't discipline myself to study long enough. I can't discipline myself to write. I can't discipline myself in order to structure, in order to create so that I can become. Because my mind is so contaminated. And then when I begin to dream out of my heart, and I think about my heart's desires, the thought that comes to my mind will begin to kill the desires in my heart, which now will contaminate your heart. Because your heart is that place where you receive love, you house love in your heart. Your heart is your hearing. It is the ability, it's with our heart that we hear more than with our ears. See, our five sensory ears can only hear five sensory reality. What you perceive, you hear the sound of my voice. That's your five senses. But I want you to hear the message with your heart. Because when you listen with your heart, you then begin to allow love to come in, and passion to come in, and compassion to take its place in your heart. That my heart is broken won't be words that will come out of your mouth, because your heart will be so full of love and so filled with love that it can't be broken, because you can't break love. When you have a contaminated soul and your heart is involved, which it is, you'll begin to say things like, I'm not worthy of being loved. You don't know how to say I love you. And when you do say I love you, you don't believe it. And when somebody says it to you, you can't hear them with your heart's ears, because you're listening with your five sensory hearing. And so you begin to feel, even in the house of love, loveless. You begin to create this false love that you want to substitute for pure love, because you feel like, I cannot allow myself to be that vulnerable or that exposed or open myself up to that extent in order to allow love in, because I don't want my heart to hurt again. And so I shut myself down and I close off my heart and I become cold-hearted. But there is no such thing. Your heart never becomes cold. Your emotions become numb. And so your broken heart, or a contaminated soul, has a contaminated heart which is broken. And it can only be fixed. And you tend to fix it with temporary fixes. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound, or they hear people say, or using duct tape to, fill a gaping hole, to hold something together. The only thing that can heal a heart that has been broken is love. And it has to be self-love. and self-forgiveness. When you begin to forgive yourself for loving, and begin to forgive yourself for giving so much of yourself, because we want to feel guilty about it. We want to beat ourselves up about it. But what I'm telling you is don't beat yourself up for giving love. You are loved. That's how you were created to be. It's okay. And though it feels like it hurts, what hurts is the disappointment that you feel because you gave the most precious thing you have, which is pure love and unconditional love. It's your heart. And so a contaminated soul will have a heart that is broken, that will produce false love, that feels like they're not worthy. And even if they're in the midst or in a room full of people who love them, they can't feel the love, and they can't receive love because they can't hear it, because they're unable to listen with the ears of their heart. They're listening with the ears, their five sensory hearing instead. The last part of your contaminated soul is your emotions. Now, these babies, they will have you going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs if you're not careful. Oftentimes, 99.9% of the time, when we respond or react to a situation, a comment, a conversation, an experience, we do so out of our emotions. Even when we're eating. When we eat a good meal, we get emotional with it. When we hear a beautiful song, we get emotional. And then the tears come. And then our hearts begin to feel some kind of way. And then your mind will start thinking on different things. And so there is an interwoven connectivity between your mind, your heart, and your emotions that create the essence of you, which is your soul. But your soul now is in a contaminated state, which is why it's struggling to not only give love, but to receive love. And it's why now you hear your soul crying out, I give for everybody else. I do for everybody else. But why won't somebody do for me? What about me? What about my needs? What if I just want a day off? What if I just don't want to talk to nobody? What if I just want to be left alone? What if I just want to go to the spa? What if I just want to turn my phone off, shut down my computers, shut down my iPads? I don't want no TV. I don't want nothing. I just want to disappear and just breathe and rejuvenate. That's why we like to go on vacation, because we want to be rejuvenated. We want to hit the reset button. We want to start over. We want to let go of all the chaos and the craziness and the anxieties and the pressures and the frustrations and all that go on in our day-to-day lives for a few moments, for a few hours, for a few days. How do we begin to deal with and cleanse a contaminated soul? When we have emotions that are unstable, our emotions are wicked, they're deceitful, and they're out of control. And so we find ourselves in very vulnerable situations and circumstances that we then will shut ourselves down to. And so then your emotions will then now begin to become numb to a situation or a circumstance. It will tell your heart, don't feel. We're going to shut you down. We're going to close you off. And we're going to stop you from feeling anything. And then your thoughts are going to be, this is why I'm not going to do it, because they said, they did, and if they do this, I'm going to do this, and if they said that, I'm going to say that. And then you start playing this whole scene and scenario out in your mind. And the more you do that, the more you contaminate your soul. That's not who you were created to be. That's not who you were meant to be. You're pure love. And watch this. When your soul gets so contaminated like that, not only can you not give love, but you won't be able to receive it. You'll look at it and think there's something wrong. You'll begin to doubt and question it. And so, beautiful souls, my Tiffany jewels, what we're going to do today, and in the last few minutes, is I want you to get out a notebook and pen. And I want you, for the next few minutes, to just, first of all, I want you to give yourself permission to become vulnerable. Nobody's going to judge you. Nobody's going to hurt you. Nobody's going to come into this private space here and do anything to you. You're safe. You're safe here. And I want you to take your notepad. And I want you to take in 3 deep breaths. You ready? I want you to breathe through your nose and out through your mouth. To do it one more time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Do it again. Breathe in. And slowly breathe out. When you do that, you're going to begin to feel this release. It is literally oh God. It is let the tears fall. It's okay. This is a good time. And what I want you to do is I want you to take your notepad and I want you to write, what do you see? And I don't want you to look out the window and say, I see trees. I see the towel on a hanger. I see a yellow. I want you to go beyond you, your current existence. And I want you to use your mind's eye. And I want you to write down the desires of your heart. What do you see yourself doing? There is no limits. There is no right or wrong answer. I want you to write the first thing that comes to my mind. I see myself happy. I see myself free. I see myself standing in this picturesque window. And the ocean is going. And I can see so clearly the beautiful blue water is sparkling, glistening in the distance. I see myself smiling. I see the abundance. I see me standing on a stage, presenting. I see my family happy and healthy and whole. I see me, and she's beautiful. She's free. She's allowing the wind to just blow through her hair. Just beautiful long white gown. It's just blowing in the wind. And the look of peace that's on her face. It's indescribable and it's so beautiful. And I see. That's what I want you to do for your mind. And then I want you to take that same notebook and for your heart, write your heart's desire. What is it that all things being equal and no problems, and there's nothing you have to worry about, what is truly in your heart? How do you really feel? You don't have to lie. You don't have to be afraid. Are you happy? Do you see yourself happy? Is your heart whole and full of love? And just want to share love. And I'm not talking about sexual type love. I'm talking about a pure, unconditional, intimate, compassion type love. That's just, I love you, man. You're just... And then for your emotions. For every negative emotion that you hear, I want you to write a positive one. You're too fat. I'm just right. You don't have a degree, but I have so much wisdom and knowledge. You're always miserable. I am blessed. I am happy. I'm excited. I'm full of joy. I'm full of peace. I'm full of tranquility. I have discipline. I have structure. I have joy unspeakable. I am abundant in my health, in my wealth, in my mindset, and in my heart. I am love. I'm not angry. I'm not bitter. I'm not jealous. I'm not envious. I am so excited and I'm thrilled and I'm eager and I anticipate. And so I want you to take a few moments and I'm going to give you this time. I'm going to let you write. Write what you see. Write what you hear with your heart, your heart's desire. And write how you feel. And be honest with yourself. Because not everybody is going to feel good today. So tell the truth. If you're not feeling that way, write it down. This is something that is going to help you move and maneuver through as you begin to cleanse and set yourself free. So for the next few minutes, I want you to take a moment. I want you to write. Now, for the sake of time, I'm going to continue this video, but when it's done, I want you to finish this assignment. I want you to know that a contaminated soul can be cleansed and cleared. It's all going to begin with you giving yourself permission to be cleansed and to be made whole again. It is giving yourself, it's saying yes to this process. It is saying yes because there are some things you're going to have to let go. And there's some things you're going to have to acknowledge and then say goodbye to. And not be afraid of them. There is going to be some processes that you're going to have to embrace and be like, it's okay. This is good. It's well. And I like it. And so I want to thank you for joining me for session 1. Talking about a contaminated soul, what it is, and how to begin our healing process. And I want you to continue this process. I want you to write, before you go to video 2, I want you to finish this assignment. Write those things down. And then when you're ready, I want you to go to video number 3, which is talking about the inner bully. And we're going to do more writing there. So I will see you in the next video, beautiful souls. Thank you, Tiffany Jules, for being a part of the Love Thyself Soul Rejuvenation Series, Session 1, dealing with the contaminated soul. Session 2, which is the next video, we'll be talking about the inner bully. Know that I love you. You are crystals, diamonds, and pearls. You are precious. You're priceless. You are valuable, and you are loved. I love you so much. and I'll see you in the next video. Give this video a thumbs up. Please share it, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace and blessings.